Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Sean, and today I am going to be reviewing Wrath from Lamb of God, their sixth studio album. This album was released February 23rd, 2009. This was the first album I ever bought from Lamb of God. In comparison to, a lot of people do compare this album to Sacrament. This album was a lot more stripped back. It was a lot more straightforward. There wasn't as much, I guess, technical work done on it, I suppose. The album itself is 11 songs long. It's 14 songs with the 3 limited edition songs that came with it. So just to count it off, the first song is the second instrumental that they've done, called The Passing, and it's the first acoustic song that they've ever done. Then that goes right into it's a bridge gap between that song and In Your Words, which is a really good song too. Then number 3 is the first single off of the album, which is called Set to Fail. Then number 4 gets into the insanely good punk rock masterpiece Contractor. Then number 5 is Fake Messiah. Number 6 was I believe this was the second single off of it, which was called Grace. Number 7 is Broken Hands. Number 8 is Dead Seeds. Number 9, one of my personal favorites, Everything to Nothing. Number 10 is Choke Sermon. And number 11 is Reclamation. The 3 bonus songs are We Die Alone, Shoulder of Your God, and my personal favorite, Condemn the Hive. I got into Lamb of God just shortly before this album came out, and it was a good album when it came out, I'm not going to lie. It took, like any good album, it takes a bit to get used to it. You have to listen to it a couple times to really get the feel for it, I suppose. It starts to showcase, because Randy Blythe, the lead singer, he does have sobriety at this point in the band's career, and this is the first album that he's done sober, which is, you can tell in some of the songs, his voice really starts to come out, and really he does hold his own, that's for damn sure. Obviously, like I said, it's the follow-up to Sacrament. But like I said before, everything that they've done after Sacrament is obviously compared to Sacrament due to the fact that that was such a landmark album for them. It says that it achieved number 2 in the Billboard 200. It exceeded 68,000 units sold in the first week, and as of 2010, it sold 202,000 copies in the U.S. I will admit I am a Lamb of God fan, but I haven't. This is one of those albums that I haven't listened to as much as the rest of them. I did see them when they toured for this album it would have been October of 2009. I saw them in London, Ontario, with Gwar. It was a really, really kick-ass show. It was the first time I saw them live. Fucking unbelievable show. One of the best I've seen so far. There was a bonus disc that came with the album, which it was actually kind of cool what they did. They took every song off of the album and they separated the vocals, the rhythm guitar, the bass, the lead, and the drums into 4 separate parts, which I thought was pretty cool. And from what I actually learned, one of my friends, he was actually able to use those because the version he got, it didn't include the bonus tracks. The bonus tracks were only available in the UK and Japan. What he was able to do was it gave him the separate parts for the bonus tracks, and he just used his whatever program and just put them together, and that's how he got the song. So that I thought was pretty cool. So in terms of the songs themselves, the obviously, I read reviews of this album just after it came out, and a lot of people were very surprised with the first song being the passing. It was a slow intro, but then with the bridging gap to In Your Words, it just totally sets the tone for the album. It's a really fast. It's really stripped back. It's fucking awesome. So the surprises for me on this album when I first got it was, I know everyone had the same feeling with Contractor for one. Another one for me was Broken Hands, Everything to Nothing, and then my personal, I call it the hidden gem on Wrath, was Reclamation. It was their first venture into, it's almost like a marathon song, I suppose. I call Reclamation the precursor to King Me on the Resolution album, which you guys, I've also reviewed that one if you want to check it out. Those are the big surprises for me on that album. The only songs I never really liked that much were, well, I don't want to say The Passing because it wasn't acoustic. You take it as it is, I suppose. I actually read somewhere that there's the opening line in Your Words that goes, "A sacred cash cow with sickly tits," and apparently it was a lyric written by Randy, and he had to fight long and hard to keep that lyric in. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, other than that, it's a solid album. People were describing it as being almost like kind of like an Ace of Spades-esque album. It's very rough, very aggressive, very raw. It's definitely gonna tear your ear off. That's for damn sure. It's a good album. Just little side notes. They were nominated for a Grammy. This was actually the second album that they were nominated for a Grammy. With Set to Fail was nominated for Best Metal Performance, but it lost to Dissident. I believe that's how you say. Dissident Aggressor from Judas Priest. And then they were also nominated for another Grammy for In Your Words, but they lost to Maiden and their song El Dorado. So there you go. There was also a lot of reviews that were saying similar things. It's very, words like angry, very garage rooted, swagger comes to mind, a lot of stuff like that. This album was given kind of middle ground ratings. It wasn't exactly spectacular, but it wasn't exactly the worst thing that they've ever done before. It's definitely in the middle. Some people even think of this, or at least I've heard, some people think of this as almost like a borderline of a concept album, because it's because after the success of Sacrament, people were thinking, what are they going to do next? How are they going to top Sacrament? And I guess the best way to top something that's as fluid and as pristine as that album is to go back to the basics. Go back to what you know. Don't try and beat a dead cow, I suppose. Don't try to make... Because a lot of people knew it was going to be hard for them to top Sacrament. And I think they did the best that they could possibly do with this album. So other than that, there really isn't much else to say about this one. If you haven't already picked it up, I highly suggest you do. It's a good album. It's not... to say that it's not going to be one of the ones that people remember from this band, it might be a little bit condescending, but if you're a die-hard Lamb fan, you're going to like this album. It's as simple as that. It's really damn good. So I'm going to give Wrath from Lamb of God, I will give it I'm going to say an 8 out of 10. It's good, it's raw, but it does lack the polish. But I understand where they're coming from, trying to, off the success of Sacrament, trying to go back to the basics. Don't try and make something awesome, I suppose. that sounds really bad. I'm rambling right now. I apologize. So I said 8 out of 10. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to give me a comment or something, feel free. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.